You have stumbled upon or perhaps intentionally ended up here at my podcast, Actual Leigh. No matter the path that led you here, I hope that you will hang out and join me for a truly enjoyable conversation. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to Actual Leigh. I've been on hiatus for several months now, so we're finally getting back to it, and I guess we're starting the next batch of episodes with CJ, who I met on Twitch, and he was like promptly super like supportive of me streaming and helps me get to the next stage that I just brain farted on the word. What's the word?
Is that affiliate?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So and this is our first time actually having like a two-way conversation. It's always either been I'm in your streams or you're in my streams, and it's kind of a two-way, but it's not the same as like the verbal, so
Yeah.
hi. How you doing?
I'm good. Just got off of work, and I'm excited because it's technically the start of my weekend because I work every other Friday. So Fridays I rotate with the other clinical coordinator at my job, and yeah, so I'm excited to get a 3-day weekend.
Yay. That's nice. You actually get a proper, like, you can do your errands, and then you have like rest day and play day kind of thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I already have the next day booked, so I'm
Nice.
excited.
So I saw in your Twitch story that you had like a performance coming up. I did not know that you performed. So what is
Yeah.
that new, or is that something you've been
So
doing?
yeah, so I actually I need to start back doing it, but um when I first started streaming on Twitch 3 years ago, I did mostly I did half gameplay, and then I also did guitar streams slash singing, and I love it. I've been playing guitar for like a decade and singing, and performed at different places, but I wouldn't consider myself to be professional. I'm starting literally just this year to perform at different like public venues. So I've already done a few venues this year, but I'm hoping to do a lot more like coming up, and I'm getting more experience with that. So I'm really excited. But I love it. It's something I've always had a passion for. I just never really went for it, and I'm going for it, you know? And
That's
I'm
awesome.
hoping, yeah, I'm hoping something will come of it. But even if it's not, I'm enjoying it. I have some amazing people that are supporting me, and my coworkers and my family, and even some randos. Like it's just a really great experience every time. So I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. And do you do your own stuff? Or are you doing like covers or?
Yeah, I do mostly covers, but I need to write more songs. I think I have about like 5 original songs. Um and like two of them are good, in my opinion. But I need to write more, and that's another goal of mine this year. Maybe even to like just write like 5 more songs just to challenge myself, and have some more originals, because some places are like, well, we don't really want you to do covers. We want you to do your own music. So I want to be able to have a good list of like my own original songs that I can perform and I know well, and, record, put on my YouTube, and, be able to show that to people and
Yeah.
potentially get more exposure. Yeah. It's like I said, it's going to be work, but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah. I think like I do a bunch of different things, and for me it's the experience of doing that's
Yeah.
ultimately the biggest reward. And then if other people enjoy what I'm doing, it's like that just like adds more to it, right? It's like, but my
Yeah.
reason for doing it isn't for that part of it. It's always for the experience of doing it. And
Absolutely.
yeah. So do you have like did you take like music classes, music theory classes or anything like that, or are you just self-taught?
Never. Like I started out with one teacher. He went to my church like a long time ago, and right when I first started playing guitar, he gave me like a month of lessons, and then he had to move to Colorado. and basically left me on my own. So after that, I learned from like different library books, um, and YouTube videos, like different like guitar apps and stuff like that. And I just kind of like went off of there. And, so I would say like mostly self-taught. It's just a lot of practice. Like I would be in my room playing guitar, like maybe 3 hours a night, like every
Yeah.
night, just consistently. So, learning different strumming and picking patterns, different techniques on the guitar. So yeah, it's, I'll say it's definitely worth it. I need to learn some more, maybe practice my skills and stuff like that. Um, but I'm pretty happy with where I'm at right now, I will say. But there's definitely room for improvement.
Yeah. It's always I used to play a couple different instruments when I was younger, but I kind of lost the connection with it. Like when I went through pregnancy on my son, it's like, you know, you become a parent, it just sort of consumes everything. And it's like I wouldn't even know how to connect to that part of my brain. But I think like most of the stuff I learned very ADHD, where I would just pick up something and figure it out. And once I figured it out, I was not super interested in it anymore, you know? But the
Yeah.
one thing I got really into was there was like the software called Stream Tracker. It was like a DOS program. And you could go in and use like wave files and plug them in and make music that way. So it was like making electronic music, right? Without like a
Yeah.
keyboard or anything. And I would go in and I'd literally stay up like for days just programming, and it would only be like 2 minutes of music, but it was, you know, because you had to program every single thing. And I was like using like Homer Simpson sounds. And just I wish I had those files,
Oh
because
my goodness.
I feel like I could have taken those when I was getting my ADHD evaluation, and that's all they would have needed to diagnose me.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. Now I'm kind of curious about it. I want to hear it.
Yeah, just like, yeah, I
That
do
is
have
so
like
cool.
this machine that my friend gave me, or device that I can like hook up to my computer to use to do mixing, like DJing stuff, because that's something I've always wanted to learn. I just, when I was younger, I always kind of talked myself out of it. It was like, oh, you can't do that kind of thing. So he was like,
Yeah.
oh, I have this thing, you should try it. And I just haven't really had the chance to sit down and play with it yet. But one of these days, I even have like a whole playlist saved up for stuff that I want to try to mix together. And
Yeah.
yeah,
That's so nice. When you talked about getting into one thing and just kind of like, yeah, I can do this for a minute and then you kind of get bored of it. I do that with a lot of stuff, but I will say guitar and singing and kind of like performing, I guess, in a sense. Um, I've never, that's never been like a thing I would get tired of. Um, because there's so much you can do with it. There's so many different songs you can play, even though I really stick to only a few genres. But it's just, it's kind of like an extension of me, you know,
yeah,
and a way that I can express my emotions, which it's so great, you know, like if I'm feeling sad, I can sing one of my like slow indie songs, you know, or like an Ed Sheeran song. And then there are like some happy songs if I'm feeling really happy and upbeat. And, and it makes me even happier, you know, when I'm singing and I'm playing it. And, yeah, so I use it for that and I never get tired of it. Yeah.
yeah. That's so cool. I always think about that when I'm listening to people who are really like just belting it out, that there must be such a
Oh yeah.
release in it, you know? Like I just,
There
and
is.
because I'm so internalized and like I don't like really have an outlet. And like even when I try to sing in the car or whatever, I'll start like freaking out, and I'm like, oh, maybe
Yeah.
I should take singing classes or something. I just just to see if I can get over that, like that
You
panic,
could.
you know. I don't think I have a good voice for that, but you
I'm a
know.
true believer and anybody can, you, have you seen Ratatouille? You know, the whole thing, anybody can cook. I'm a true, I think anybody could sing. Seriously. And, I and you know, you'll hear me talk about Ed Sheeran a lot because he's actually the one who inspired me to start playing guitar and singing. And I was watching him on Ellen, and he was talking about his story, and they actually played a clip of him singing when he was like, I don't know, he might have been like 10, but he just sounded terrible, you know, and it was just like, and he was like starting out, but I don't know if he might have had lessons, but him just like practicing and like just, that's him just putting in the hard work, his work ethic with guitar and singing. He never gave that up. And that's what made him the singer and guitar player that he is now. And I'd like to say that's what happened with my singing as well, because my stepmom literally told me when I was like just starting out 10 or 11 years ago that she would cringe when I would sing. It sounded terrible. Like it really would. And now she's like, your voice is incredible. And like other people, I know she's telling the truth because other people tell the same thing. That's how you know. You got to compare what your mama says about you.
Right.
No, but like, I'm like, okay, well, I've been like literally singing these songs and I practice just singing these songs and I listen to the songs and I've always had like a very logical, mathematical, scientific brain, which is weird because I'm like artistic, I guess, in that sense, in the musical sense. But I'm like, I know where the notes should be. I know how to make it sound good.
Music is
And then,
it's very mathematical and it's also a
yeah,
language, so it's very like analytical.
yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. So it really makes sense that at some point I'm like, okay, I'm what I'm doing isn't matching up. And I could always tell when the note is off and all that stuff. My dad's a singer too. And like harmony came easy to me. And like, so it's just one of those things that you just have to keep doing. And I think if you just keep doing it, eventually that thing that you're doing, you're going to get better at it, right? Like it stands to reason.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I, all of that to say that like if you wanted to, you could. You can start. You can start.
If I could push through the anxiety of
Yeah.
taking up that space.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's been like for me, like doing the podcasting and doing the content stuff, like doing the clowning, all that. It's like people who knew me before I started doing that, it was such a huge shift because I was always in the background. Like it's not that I wasn't creative, but most of my creativity was in problem solving and I did photography, but my photography was very like literal. I was always trying to capture exactly what I saw the way that I saw it because that can be very challenging. So it was very
Mm-hmm.
technical and so I never really thought of myself as being creative. And then when I started doing like this other stuff, it puts me in front of the camera instead of behind it. It's like the first couple of videos that I posted where I was like talking on TikTok and I made a TikTok account because I didn't know anybody there. And I was like, well, I'll make an account and I can practice talking so that I can get used to it so that I can do my podcast. And then
Huh.
that like turned into me like making friends and then I started clowning and doing the puppet content and then I finally it took me
Oh
like doing that
yes.
for a year then I started my podcast. But I would be
Yeah.
so anxious about putting myself out there, I wouldn't be able to sleep after I posted something stupid like a cooking video. Hey, I made chili today,
Oh.
It was like, and even now when I have like, as there's like a maze that I do in my brain to get it to turn off after I put out something that's a little outside my comfort zone. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like somewhere I learned to not seek attention.
Yeah.
But what I've learned through doing this is that attention's actually really nice. Like it's actually nice to get attention and to be
Yeah.
acknowledged for what we're doing,
Absolutely.
and I've always had jobs where I'm in the background and what I do is really important, but it's not acknowledged because of the
Yes.
role I play. Nobody sees it. And
Amen.
and when I'm not there, all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, you actually do a lot.
Yep.
Duh. So I'm just
Yep.
very used to being that role. And it's like, oh, now I'm on this other side. And, I'm more comfortable in it, but I feel like it's changing my wiring significantly. So there's more to
Good.
learn.
Absolutely. It's kind of like when you're performing like on stage in front of people. or like even like a small group, it kind of like for me, I remember the first time I did that, I was so freaking nervous. Um, but I luckily had practice in front of like really small groups. Like I started out really doing like worship songs for my parents' small group at their church. Like, and it will be at our house. So like it was a place I was familiar with. And then it will be like maybe 10 people and we just do that. And eventually work my way up. But that really rewired my brain to be like, okay, it isn't so bad to perform in front of people. Um, and you just have to put yourself out there. And like, I realized once I started doing it, I'm like, okay, if this is okay, I just do what I practice and that's it. That's all you practice. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely, I don't get as nervous anymore. I just kind of like go up there and do my thing.
Just kind of look forward to the experience itself. And
Yeah,
yeah, that's cool.
exactly. Before we continue, I want to make sure that I'm pronouncing your name right. I know we talked about it before, Lee or Leigh,
Leigh.
because Lee.
Yeah.
Okay, see, y'all, I'm just letting y'all know that, like I said, we haven't had this kind of face to face before, and we've talked to each other on different streams. So, yeah, I want to make sure.
It's
So,
the
Lee,
spelling's ambiguous. It's like if you said Leah, I would just be like, what's wrong with you? But Lay is valid because there are words that have my name in it, like slay, right? So it's a valid
yeah,
assumption. So if
that's the
somebody
thing.
says lay when they, like if I'm at the doctor's, I'll respond to that, and I may not even
Yeah,
correct them because whatever. But if they
yeah.
say Leah, I'll be like, I'll act like I didn't hear them, because there's no and IGH. Give me
There's
a
no
break.
way. There's no way. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna disrespect you. Yeah, no, I wanted to make sure. Okay, because I'm like, okay, I've asked you before, and then like we didn't talk for a few months, so like my
I'm
brain,
terrible at
I
names. Oh
filled
my
my brain
God.
with like,
Like,
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
me too.
And I'll like I have to like use the name over time for it to really lock in. And then I'll like if I'm at in that in between stage where I think I remember it, I'll start being like, but wait, was it really that? And I just do what you did. I just ask because I feel like
Yeah,
why why stress myself out about it when I can just get the
absolutely,
information? Like
absolutely. Yeah. Well, there comes a point, it's the point of no return, really. Like you I think if we had been like talking and like hanging out for like a week straight, and like I never asked you like how to pronounce your name, at that point it's too late. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't. You gotta
I'll
wait
just
to hear somebody say it. You can ask at that. Like that's
I'll just
embarrassing.
ask. I have no
A
like
week
I
straight
just
is
don't get
crazy.
embarrassed. I don't care.
You
I'm
okay?
just I'm
That's
super
great.
honest with like I am not afraid to make mistakes like at all like that.
Oh,
I'll just be like,
that's great.
you know, I'm just like, sorry, I don't remember.
Yeah,
And if somebody takes offense to that, that's kind of on them, right? Because like
I think
it's not about them that I couldn't remember. It's just like, you
I
know,
think most people wouldn't take offense. It's just really me.
yeah. No, I
Like
think it's
I should
established.
know.
I think it's established culturally that we're supposed to remember and that that we should be embarrassed if we don't, right?
Mhm.
But then so many people are like, I'm really bad at names, right? Which makes sense because when you first meet people, most people are pretty overstimulated because it's a new person, oftentimes a different environment. There's like all these other
Yeah,
things going on. So there's this one bit of information that like just slips and there's all this other information that also slips and it's totally valid. It's just not there's I don't know, there's a lot of weird cultural expectations put on us
yeah.
that are contrary to human nature. And I'm like, "Pfft, whatever."
I I love that. I've never heard it like put that way before, but you're exactly right. You're
Yeah.
exactly right.
I don't
Um,
know if it's the autism experience or whatever, where like my brain could just see that stuff. I always feel like I'm on the outside and can
mhm.
see the things that most people just live in and don't question. And I can't leave stuff alone. So
Yeah, I got you. I understand.
yeah.
Oh man.
Mm. I saw you were playing Death Stranding recently.
Yes. You saw that, huh?
Well, yeah, you
That's
mentioned that you
actually,
jump around a lot, and that's what with games, you are like different game every time. Like,
I know. I am. And Death Stranding has been one that I've been coming back to recently. I actually restarted that game. And I was trying to, I made another profile so that I wouldn't have to get rid of my other game. But then I ended up restarting that one anyway. It's like, it's whatever. But the new one, is about to come out. I'm really
right?
excited about it. I think it's June 26th. So, like, y'all make sure y'all pre-order. Like I'm not sponsored at all. But it's gonna be amazing. You've seen the previews and stuff, right?
Yeah, I probably won't get it until it's like 3 years old and on sale. It's like Death Stranding, and the first one I
Yeah.
got it for $8.
Well,
So, you
I
know,
I get that. And for any viewers or listeners, that's the game that me and Leah actually connected on. So
yeah.
it was I was looking for people who were playing Death Stranding, and
I was like super like hyper focused on that game and was just
yeah,
like, and I
it's a
was,
lot to focus on.
yeah, I didn't, there's like one more prepper that I didn't get all the stars with because it was never giving me stuff to
Is
build
it
up
the
the
first
stars.
prepper?
Yeah. And he was making, and
Yeah,
I was like,
or
I'm
like
gonna go do something else.
it's like the first prepper or like the something prepper, but I gave up on it. It
Yeah.
didn't give me any missions for it. So
Yep.
I don't know. I should have looked it up actually, but
Yeah. I think I did. And then I wasn't seeing, it was like some people had
yeah.
my issue and some people didn't. And then I just kind of,
Oh,
yeah. So I don't know if it's like the version because I had the
it
director's
had to have been
cut
some
or
kind of yeah. I'm gonna have to look that up.
yeah.
Honestly, I
But I
imagine. Oh, go ahead.
no, it's like I want to finish it. And I am excited about the second game. I just can't ever afford games when they're new. So it's
I
you know.
listen. I feel that I've been blessed because I had a friend of mine recently. She knew I was really into the Assassin's Creed series. So Shadows came out like maybe 2 months ago, and she actually was like, "Hey, here's like a $70 PlayStation card."
Like
Yeah, I mean, I've never had somebody, so I was really blessed for that, and because I was talking about it, so she's like, "You should
yeah.
get it. You should be able to play it at night." So yeah, I ended up getting that, but hopefully I'll be able, I'm planning around it for my paycheck. Just be like, okay, this is a necessity. I'm gonna get Death Stranding too, and once I have it, nobody call me, nobody text me. I'm incommunicado, okay?
Just turn the phone off and like
I have 300 hours of Death Stranding. I'm gonna have 500 in Death Stranding too, okay?
right. Yeah, some of the I haven't looked at the more recent like trailers, but the first one I watched just looked fucking crazy. I was just like,
Yeah. And
you know,
for anyone who doesn't know about like Death Stranding or like think about like I actually have seen quite a few people, I think because of Death Stranding 2 coming out, but quite a few people are playing it now, actually the first game. And I think just in preparation for it.
yeah,
But it's kind of gaining popularity again. But it's really it's an interesting game to say the least. And when I was showing my friend, she was like, "I'm glad you showed me like because I showed her the YouTube video like the story explained first, and then like she sees me watch like play the gameplay and stuff, and she's like, I'm glad I saw that because if I didn't see that video and I just saw your gameplay, I would be like, she would be like, what the hell are you playing?
yeah,
So it's something you really just have to stick with it. Like, but the story, I'm not gonna lie, probably the first scene or two really hooked me. Like, you
yeah.
just gotta really start the game and
The
it'll hook
story
you.
is like, I mean, it's like getting through like a really good TV series, right? It just has there's so much stuff in it.
Exactly.
They really commit to the cutscenes for
They do.
giving you story.
It's
And
a
then
movie,
the
literally.
first like 3 or 4 hours of gameplay are kind of like when they're teaching you, and it's like really slow. And
Mhm.
so I was warned about that. And so I just committed and I got through it. And as soon as you get through that part, you start getting more tools and then it just like hooks. And then
Yeah.
it's just like, I'm not sleeping.
Right.
And I really like the fact that you don't kill, that there's such a like there's such a like punishment if you kill somebody, or
Yeah.
you have to go take their body and deal with all of
Definitely.
that, that I never killed anybody. And I actually really enjoyed that experience and the challenge of like, like you just run around, tie people up and knock them out and stuff. The
Yeah.
like the shotgun with the blanks or whatever where you just shoot them and it knocks them out is so
The
fun. Yeah,
non-lethal,
yeah.
absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
like that because when I play like other games like Far Cry and stuff, I like running around and shooting people and doing the headshots and stuff. But there's also that part of me that is like, these people had families and friends, and I know it's a video game,
Really?
but it's really
Oh,
hard for me to disconnect from that. So games that require
wow.
you to be a bad person, I can't play them because like I get really anxious.
Wow.
And like like lying is really really stressful for me. So games where you have to steal or so sometimes even
Yeah.
like when I was playing Red Dead and you have like to go in and
Yes. Oh, you were a good cowboy. I know.
yeah. Oh my God. I played with my friend Ivy like online and
Oh,
she's
yeah.
she's an she had like no honor and I had maximum honor. And so I'm playing with her not knowing what I'm getting into and she just starts up the shenanigans and my
Oh,
honor's
of
like
course.
going down and I'm like my stomach
I'm not with
hurts.
her. Yeah. I'm not with her, y'all. Arrest her.
I was like, not the horse.
Oh my
Like,
god. Oh, don't even get me into Red Dead Online because I tried doing that with friends, and that was cool for a minute. But because there's no private servers, you get these people that like to hack you or hack or whatever, and they just ruin the
it's not
experience.
fun.
Like literally, it was the day that me and my friend decided to, and I bought this game on Steam, like Red Dead Online on Steam, because he had been talking to me about it. He was really excited about it. We get on there the first day, and then like 3 hours, we did some missions for about 3 hours, and then like at the 3 hour mark, we had somebody that was like just I guess
Like griefing
hacking or
you.
whatever, griefing, yeah, and emoting and like I couldn't do anything. They had me stuck in like emotes or something like that, and it was terrible. I'm like, no, I knew this would
Yeah.
happen. I'm off, and
Yep.
I don't even think I did Red Dead Online one other time, but then I just like stopped and like if I ever do it again, I'll do the PlayStation version, but I'm
Yeah.
done with
I
PC.
did I did the story and even that I loved the first game. Like I was like literally like just up playing it, right? Second game was just harder for me to get into and the story was like a little harder for me to get into. It just had a lot of like these really like stereotypical like sort of male focused tropes and there was the dysfunction between the characters was really grating. So
Mhm.
for me it was kind of hard, but I did eventually get through it and I'm really glad I did because it was still enjoyable and I like running around collecting shit and like I got all
Oh
the
yeah.
orchids. But like when I first got the game was when it first came out and I played online with a couple of my buddies that are in Ireland and there wasn't a lot of people on yet and there was some griefing but it wasn't like too bad. And so we were just running around doing dumb shit and it was fun. And then when I
I
came
love that.
back to it like 3 years later, it's like a completely different. It's like I just want to go online and collect stuff and get the tasks done. And you can't
Mhm.
do that because the people are always just messing with you. And I'm like,
Exactly.
when I played GTA, like I would go in and find an empty server and then my friends would jump
Yeah,
in and then we would go do stuff and it
it's
was like not a
amazing.
problem
It's
and we
amazing.
could we could go do all the like missions or heists or whatever and just have fun and not worry about
Yeah.
like griefing and stuff and
Did
you
we talk
know
about GTA before?
maybe a
Cause
little
yeah,
bit.
cause I was playing that off and on with my friends. We played the new GTA 5 Enhanced came out, and no doubt to appease the whole GTA 6, being like the push back the release and everything like that. We're not
what
even gonna
what
talk about that.
what makes
I
it
mean,
enhanced?
gosh, I mean, so if you have you heard of the or did you play the PS5 version of GTA 5?
No, I have a
It's
PS4, so
PS4. Okay. What about Xbox? Okay. So on PS5 and Xbox Series X, they have enhanced versions of GTA 5 online. And I'm not quite sure of the difference, to be completely honest with you. It's like, I think you can get certain cars and like, certain bonuses and stuff like that. But essentially it's like its own kind of thing. So if you play on PS5, you could only play with other like PS5 players. If you play on Xbox Series X, you play on with only, whatever. So the PC did the same thing and they're calling it GTA 5 Enhanced. There's not too much of a difference, honestly. Like, me and my friends like, oh yeah, this is a reason to get back on GTA 5 online. And it was just like, okay, we did it for a little bit and
it was like more of the same.
it was literally about the same. I don't care about cars as much in the game or in real life. I'm just not a car person. But my friend really enjoyed that aspect of it. Um, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I know, like I said, they pushed back GTA 6 and I'm fine with it. If they have to push it back 2 more years, I just know that once it comes out, it better be worth it. You know,
Well worth the
I'm
wait.
excited about it. I am excited about it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a big like GTA person, and like we used to do streams all the time. Like Leigh, I'm talking about 12-hour streams, with GTA online and setting up heists, KO Perico, like all of that stuff. So, and we'll probably do some more this summer actually, because that's just always a game we're coming back to.
Yeah, it's like everybody I knew that played it stopped playing, so then it was like, you know, but I just
Yeah,
like I would
yeah,
like even when we were playing together, I would end up just going and like doing my businesses because I have
yeah,
so much
exactly.
money because I don't really want any of the stuff they have. So I like my whole thing was how much money can I
How
get?
much can I get?
And then all my friends are like, "Why do you have so much money?" I'm all because I don't buy all the fucking
You don't buy
cars. Like
anything. Yeah.
my
You,
favorite cars are like the one that's basically like a boxy Datsun and you can like make it into a rally car and there's one of the motorcycles I liked. So it's like I got the few things I liked, but I'd steal them and then modify them. They weren't things that I had really had to buy. So
yeah, yeah. I love that. There's not really many cars I feel like you can steal. At least cars not worth stealing, and then modify them, and then I think you have to pay for like the insurance and stuff like that.
yeah.
But I'm like, there are still some vehicles I definitely want to buy. I'm not gonna lie. But I used to do that too. Just play online by myself. And sometimes I would literally want to be by myself, so I would put myself on private or like invisible, so like nobody joins me because like there's so many
Yeah.
people that are like, oh, you're online. Let's do a mission together. Like no,
I don't
I'm doing my business.
I don't have like I don't think I have enough friends for that. Like I can play indefinitely. Nobody really like ever is like, hey, and jump in or anything like that. But Division, there was a little bit of that, but then there started being some drama around it. So then I was like, I just want to play by myself right now.
Oh, that's yeah. And we had talked about Division 2, which I never like. I played it for a few times, but I never fully got into it. But that actually, I wanted to ask you because we came back around to the topic about you starting to stream again. So, you
Soon.
know, so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't say soon. I need a date. Just kidding. I'm just
I'm like, I mean, that would
tonight.
for yeah. Yeah, so the you see the shelf behind me? That was
Yeah,
like my
it looks
goal.
great. By the way, this place. Yeah, I mean, can you tell me? So, did you move or like did you just renovate? Okay, you moved.
Yeah, because the
Awesome.
last place had a roof leak and they didn't
Yeah,
fix it, and it was
yeah.
so my bedroom was like molding, and so
Right.
we like so the leak started mid-November, and I the first thing I the day of I moved my bedroom like my bed and stuff downstairs into the front room to get away from the worst of it because
Absolutely.
it was
Absolutely.
coming. down the wall into the floor. It wasn't because it was dripping from the ceiling, but it was also going into the floor. So there's no way to keep that dry. You can't control that, right? And so there a little bit of it did come downstairs, but and then
Jump
around
in a bucket or something? Like,
well, that caught the ceiling stuff, but there
yeah.
it was literally going down inside of the wall under into
Oh
the floor. And so
no.
when the floor was wet, it was wet because it had filled up with water rather than coming from overhead.
I
And
see.
there's
Okay.
even running a dehumidifier 24/7, there's no way to stay on top of that. So and I
Yeah.
like I did my best, but that shouldn't have even been our job. And they just didn't respond. They literally stopped responding.
That's terrible.
And I talked to code enforcement and they're like, give them time to fix it. And so come February,
Time.
yeah, like
Yeah.
come February, I email code enforcement. I'm like, has it been long enough yet? Because it fucking smells in there.
Right.
And and I'm super, super sensitive to mold. It's like a whole thing for me. And it's a really big deal to be exposed in general, but when you're sensitive it's even worse. And so I just was like, we just need to move. So I took out
Yeah.
like a loan so we could pay for like the deposit and all that
Good.
shit, and just found a
Okay.
place. And like the city we live in is pretty much like the cheapest city in the Bay Area, and there isn't a lot in that price range. Most of the places require three times the uh
Yeah,
the
you're
rent income, and like
yeah.
we don't make enough. So there was only like two or three places that kind of we could qualify for. So I found this place and it looked really cool online. So we came and looked at it, and it's really weird. Like it was built in 1860. And it's like an in-law or servant's household for a proper size Victorian that's in the front of the
Hmm.
lot. Um, and I suspect it's probably like, like servants' quarters or whatever, like when people used to have employees that helped with the household or whatever. But
Yeah.
it could have been an in-law thing. And so the house is like the walls are like this thick. It's crazy. Like it's literally like a board with just like, a little bit of
Wow.
rock sheeting on either
I'm not gonna
side.
lie. I'm like at some point maybe the first stream back will be a house tour.
Right,
It's
right.
a
Yeah.
something because I'm like really curious about
I
that.
think I have a
Actually.
video somewhere. I'll send you a link.
Oh, okay.
I think I made it unlisted though, so I can send it to you.
Yeah, I just said it. Yeah.
But there's some like so my housemate let me have the front room, which is where I'm at now for my crafting space, because the bedrooms are pretty generous size, and he's able to have like kind of like an office space and his TV and everything in there very comfortably.
Mm,
And so that's pretty cool. So I've just been working on
good.
getting this space ready,
Yeah.
um just trying to figure out how to make it work. 'Cause there's the only heater in the building is a gas wood burning stove. It's like where you have the fake wood
Mm.
in it and you run, and it doesn't get the house warm at all. Like I tried everything to get the
Oh
heat out
gosh.
of this room. So I'm actually the shelf behind me is just blocking it, and I'm not going to use it, and we'll have to figure something out when winter
Yeah.
comes, because I also just don't like using it because it's like it adds humidity, and we live in an area where like I think where you're at it's humid in the summer and
Absolutely.
dry, and here
Mhm.
it's more like we have constant humidity because the ocean's there, but the winter is when it gets really humid. So the idea of adding more humidity is kind of crazy to me. But also it's
Absolutely.
just not effective. There's no thermostat or anything. I'm like, I'm not going like I have to sit there be hyper vigilant just to have a little bit of
Yeah.
heat, you know?
Absolutely. I understand that. Well, I was
So
gonna say like the space that you have now, even this angle, like if you were to just have this on your camera and then you have your gameplay as far as like Twitch streaming goes, I think that looks great.
thanks. Yeah,
You
my
know?
plan is I have some I have one right here. Don't fall. I have these acoustic boards, and I'm going to put them on the shelf behind. So I'll have those as a
Nice.
background. And then the shelf itself is for all my crafting stuff, so I can put everything away. And visually, that would be chaos, but that's part of what the
It
acoustic boards
might
will be
be
for.
nice. It
Well,
might add
it'll be
something.
great for me, but I don't want people looking at my business. So
Oh, okay. I
yeah,
got you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put the Q supports up, which will help with sound a little bit too. And then I think
Perfect.
that'll look cool. So I'm just
Perfect.
working on that. So I wanted to get those up and then I was gonna start streaming. Um I've just been like the time that I normally stream, I keep needing naps, like violent. If I don't take a nap, I feel sick, right? So I'm
Yeah.
like, how do I need to figure out like I was thinking maybe I'll start streaming earlier and I'll just take a nap break. Like I'll just be like, I'll be back in a half an hour because my naps are like 20 minutes and then I'll come back or something.
I could never. I have to be. It has to be at least an hour, and like I'll be back in 2 hours, y'all, because I gotta get an energy drink to wake myself
Yeah.
up from the nap. You
Well,
know?
that's if you're sleep, you should set an alarm. I seriously, if you talk to like a sleep specialist, they'll tell you your naps ideally should be under a half an hour because once you sleep longer than that, your body doesn't know that it starts to get confused and it starts creating the melatonin that you would make at nighttime. And so
Oh,
that's part of the reason why it's so hard to wake up from the nap
interesting.
is you've started creating that melatonin that would keep you asleep and so then you're all groggy and for whatever reason I never used to, as a kid I did not nap. I just it was not a thing, but the last couple of years I had a couple big surgeries and ever since then I need naps sometimes and when I do them they're like intense 20 minutes of just like violent sleep. I don't know how else to explain it.
Violent sleep is crazy.
But I feel
Okay.
so much better when I wake up.
I
So
mean, that's great. Oh,
yeah, it's totally worth
I
it.
need to do that now. I need to do that. Oh
Yeah.
my god. Do you mind if I take like a quick bathroom break? Just like
Go for it.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, I wanted to say that like your supportiveness, like when you started watching my streams and then just being like, you know, I like your style. So I was like, it's so like, it's so good for me. Like it kept me like
Yeah.
going, I should do this. I should do this. Cause like the
Oh,
closer I
that's
got to
great.
affiliate, the more I went like, oh no, I don't want to do anything like this feels too official. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to, you know, I don't want to inconvenience people with ads or like whatever. And it just like helped to have somebody who just was like, oh, I
Yeah.
like it, do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so for me, I'm so glad you feel that way about ads because I know some creators that literally will bombard you and it's like, okay, uh free roll ads, I think it's called, right when you come in, and then like ads every 30 minutes and it'll last like 5 minutes. You know, like I don't know.
Yeah.
But like for me, I have the lowest setting because you have to have them apparently.
You can't turn them
But
off. I tried.
yeah, I have the lowest setting possible for ads.
Same.
And I'm just like, I'm not gonna make enough and it's so funny, the people honestly speaking, and this isn't a slam at them, but the people who have the ads on, all these ads, it's doing more harm than good. Because yes, if you're getting maybe 100 plus viewers, then ad revenue could be a little change for you. But you're gonna view averaging like 3 viewers or whatever, it's gonna do more harm than good. It's going to, like for me, if I have somebody who's like, okay, we'll be back in a moment, and I have to sit through 3 minutes of ads, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
I'm trying to get to know the streamer. I'm trying to get to know you. I'm trying to see what you're about.
Right.
And my time is valuable. I'm sorry. Even now that I'm, this year I'm doing a lot more. I'm like almost never home nowadays. Like my time is valuable. If I come on and I'm on my phone, I come on and I have to sit through. I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
Like, so I just feel like people need to like honestly think about that because I've had it'll be like 1 or 2 viewers where most of my revenue would come from. Yes, subscriptions will add up and I get like a Twitch payout, but I'll be like 1 or 2 like dedicated viewers who they got some green and they're like, man, CJ, I love you so much. I have some expendable cash. Uh, I'm gonna get to 100 subs, and that's happened quite a few times. And it's just that is like for me at least that's where I've never thought about ad revenue. Like you'll get maybe $5 a month from ad revenue and then hope that you get a Twitch payout twice a year. You
Yeah.
but people I think people just kinda have to think about it.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's like this mindset of like, oh, if you do this thing and you could make it big and make money. But the thing is that's like leftover from when streaming was new and it was easier to make money. But the whole thing with inshitification, right, is that these apps, they make it easy to get started. And so you have these people who make it really big and they make a lot of money. And then everybody goes, oh, I want to be like that. And each wave and each iteration of the app they take away a little bit more while setting things up to make a little bit more money. So like, they start charging for more, they stop doing quite as big of payouts. And it's like if you look at like pretty much any site that offers financial incentive for posting, the amount that they offer and the ease of accessing that money, it's just significantly less than it was like a decade ago. And so people have this
Yeah, I can
mindset that, oh,
imagine.
I can go do that thing, but the system is not, they don't actually want to pay everybody that much. So,
Yeah.
they're not gonna, it just doesn't, yeah, like, and to me, like, I still treat social media and being online as a way to interact with people, not as a way to gain fans or whatever, right? Like every person I
Yeah.
interact with, I treat them like a person, as a potential friend. It's not, you
Well,
know
and to be honest, that's the best way to go about it, honestly. But yes, to have the best experience as a Twitch streamer, that is how you should do it. And had a lot of people just be discouraged because they would only have like, you know, one or two people, but those one or two people that are interacting with you on your stream will sometimes be a lot better than like the 10 lurkers that you might have, you
right.
know, um, every once in a while, so it's like, I like that too. Like, I love the social experience, and I've met so many people, like, obviously, right? I've met people that, like, I met 3 years ago when I started streaming that I still am talking to this day. Like, that we have, like, me and, like, my boys, but it's not just boys, I
Yeah.
met, like, everyone. But we have, like, a group chat and stuff, and we're, like, talking but like some real friendships. And actually someone that I met well, he doesn't live there anymore. Him and his wife moved to I think east or west East Tennessee. But they used to live in Memphis with me, and we ended up like for me I was like moving from Jackson, Mississippi from a job, and I was looking for a place, and they were like, "Oh, well, we have a house and we have an extra room. Or one of our roommates just left. You can like room with me." And I was living with them for about 6 months, and it was like awesome to have that experience. I'm like, I met you on Twitch, my dude, and like my guy, like he is a really really cool person.
Yeah.
So I got lucky because there are a lot of weirdos on Twitch. I will say that, but there are some really great people,
Yep.
and I was really lucky to meet my man. Dr. Wolfie is what I'm talking about. He's been on my streams and we'll do some stuff. He actually just became affiliate. I think he's planning on doing his like first affiliate stream this weekend. So
Oh, okay.
looking forward to that. But yeah, so it's more than just viewers. It definitely is a social experience for me as
Yeah. I
well.
mean, the whole reason why I started streaming was I just was using it as a tool so that my friends could come hang out with me while I was gaming because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
so isolated, right? That like for me, the only time I really get to interact with people is either when I'm doing the podcast or if I'm streaming or whatever, but otherwise it's pretty quiet. So I was like, well, I can game and then I can kind of just hang out, And so I have a couple people that they would like come in pretty regularly and not really say much. They'd be like, "Hey, just letting you know I'm here. I'm gonna go make dinner." And then they just listen and hang out while they're watching TV and doing their stuff. And it's like a way to spend time together without any real pressure.
Absolutely.
And, and then I
And I
have,
would do that with you as well. Just kind of put you on
yeah,
the background because you are very relaxing, and I love seeing your gameplay and stuff. And it's nice.
yeah. I like it when people tell me they're there because then I know that I can like just babble or whatever. I'll just be like, because if
Oh
if
yeah,
if there's nobody there, I won't talk, and it's just because like it doesn't fire my brain up, right? But if I know somebody's there, then
that's
my brain
true.
goes, I'm gonna make some noise. So,
Okay, okay.
yeah,
Well,
and
so for me, I don't know, like, because sometimes I won't announce myself. To be honest with you, there are times that I have, obviously, and then there are other times where I'll just like put on the stream. But I know that some people have their viewer list up, and they'll be like, okay, they'll be able to see. Like, I've had a couple of people literally, it's freaky as hell, but they'll be like, hey, Crimson Rain, I know you're watching me. I'm like, listen, I'm a lurker. You should not be.
yeah,
Don't message me.
don't call out the lurkers.
like, what? Like, and like that's on Discord, right? But I had one new person I was just checking out. Literally was like didn't have many people, but literally typed in a chat, "Hey, Crimson Rain, how's it going? I see you lurking." And I'm just like,
I
there's some things you just don't do. You
I'd
know
be
what
like,
I'm saying?
okay, bye.
Like, I almost. This guy was kind of funny though. Like I think he had maybe 43 followers. He had on followers only mode, and or no, he had on subscribers only mode. 43 or it had to be more than that, but like I guess maybe 53 followers. You know, not much going on. I don't
And
even know
subscribers
what
only
game he
means
was
that
playing.
only
Only
subscribers can chat.
can chat
Yeah.
exactly. I'm like, I am not gonna subscribe to you so I can chat with you. You just called me up for lurking. I like, no, I'm trying to see what all the hubbub is about. You got
That
subscribers only mode on. Like, there's nothing really worth subscribing to, my boy.
that's kind of
So,
manipulative almost
yeah,
like oh, you have to pay to respond. I just gave you some attention, you
exactly.
know?
Like, no, you're not that important. Maybe if Beyonce had on subscribers only mode, or like Ed Sheeran or Corey Kenshin, like then I would definitely pay. But no, not
Yeah.
for you, dude. Like
Yeah.
some people get on Twitch and they are like delusional. Um, one thing I can truly say to you, Leigh, is that my goodness, you are like meant to do this. You really are, and I love it's nothing more like fulfilling for me is like watching people, doing the things that they were meant to do or like doing the things that they're really good at. Because I get on Twitch and I like to discover new people, of course, and I see a lot of people and I have friends even that I have to like talk with and have to really be like, okay, is this something that you really want to do, or are you just doing this because you see someone else doing this and whatever. So like I don't know. It's something that it's not an easy thing. You have to have the personality for it. Um, you have to have maybe like kind of like an X factor, and that could be quite literally anything, whether it's a part of your personality or it's a part of your stream setup. It could be anything. Um, but I truly believe that you have that, and I've I've really enjoyed your streams.
Oh,
Like I really have, and I will say it's really sad because there's just I don't know what's been going on, but like all of my like friends who are streaming, even like LA Dream, gave me on. Shout out to her. LA Dream Game on. She has like probably over maybe close to 6,000 followers now,
wow.
and she's averaging 6 or 7 viewers, and it's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
you know what I'm
I'm
saying? Like, it's
that's
tough.
it's the enshittification. I'm telling you, they just like
It's
they
tough.
they
Part of
just
me
take it
thinks like
away, you know?
there's just something happening. Like through 2025, I go back, like I'm on Twitch and it's like viewer count has just been like going down. I feel like 6 months or I guess maybe 10 months ago from now, I was watching people, they had like so many viewers like consistently, and it just hasn't been as much this year.
Yeah. Well, that so, so
Yeah.
for me, like when I was streaming, I got like I would say I averaged 2 or 3 viewers, and then
Mm-hmm.
every now and again, like right before I was gonna log out, I would have like 10 viewers. It'd be like 1 in the morning, and I'd have like it'd show like 10 viewers, but
Uh,
nobody was saying anything. And I'm
yeah.
like, but I'm getting ready to log out, so okay, bye. But
Yeah.
but that, I never had a lot. So if it's dropped dramatically, I might have one.
It depends, and that's why I definitely recommend having a community.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you have a
For me,
Discord?
yeah, I have you're in my Discord.
Oh,
I
okay.
but and I'm in yours, but
Hmm.
the most of the people that come in are my friends. So, and that's kind of the whole point for me. So as long as
Exactly.
like my friend Stars in Norway, like if he jumps in
Well,
when he first wakes up in the morning and we hang out and chit chat, and I'm happy. That's all I need. Like
and that's the thing. It's like you're kind of coming on here, you're making connections, and the people that you make connections with keep coming back. So like, for example, you and me, I feel like you're cool as hell. So like we made that connection,
Yeah.
and I'm coming back to your streams. I'm like, oh, Leigh is live. So I come back to your stream, and I know I even if I can't watch you, I'm gonna lurk on you because either I'm doing something in the background and I want to have you on in the background or whatever, or like whatever. Like I might be doing
Yeah.
something on my computer, but just, making those connections because it is really hard to just have randos come into your stream because there are so many people streaming now. Like if you look at for example, you look at the Fortnite category, and I use Fortnite because everybody plays Fortnite. You look through, and I told you to do this one day. One viewer, like hundreds,
Yeah.
zero viewers. Like it is insane the amount of people that are streaming these days. So it's just that much harder to like have people come to your stream and stay on your stream because attention spans as well aren't
Yeah.
really good,
Yeah.
So it's just one of the things. It's tough, but that's why I say
And it's
you
and
gotta
it's kind of like that everywhere too, because like,
yeah.
like on TikTok before I had an account, I had like 65
Mm.
or 100 followers or whatever. And that it got banned. And, it was like I was
Why did it get
just
banned?
don't know. They didn't give me a reason. And then I couldn't reach
What?
anybody to get it back. And it wasn't like I just,
That's
yeah.
worse than
So
YouTube.
yeah, it
Yeah.
hurt my feelings. I have a new account and it only has like 500 followers. It hasn't like grown at all. So, but like I was just starting to get more views and getting more engagement when I lost my account. But it's like there's just so much noise out there that it's really hard to get seen. And a lot of people,
Absolutely.
they're like scrolling and they're not present. They're not thinking about the fact that those are people
Yeah.
on their screen. It's not, and like I don't really consume content very much. I don't have the attention span for it. I prefer to read stuff. If I jump into somebody's stream, which is very rare, it's because I like the person, so I'm interested in like listening. Like I would come into your stream sometimes, and it was usually when I was getting ready
Yeah.
for bed, so I would just take around like listen while I was like
Yeah, I
brushing my
stream
teeth
late.
and all that. And
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like I just I don't have that relationship with the scrolling. And that when I do choose to follow
Exactly.
somebody, it's a very intentional thing, except on X, where reciprocal following is expected. I do follow people and I look at their account, and if they repost a lot or if they post stuff I don't like, I just mute them right away. And then that way they
Okay.
get the follow that keeps them happy and I don't have to
Oh,
see
yeah,
their stuff,
exactly.
you know?
Exactly. I love
And
that.
in the beginning, it made me uncomfortable because it felt disingenuous, but the pressure to follow back is so intense there that it's easier to go with the
Yeah.
flow. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt the same way about Twitch, and I realized they followed me for a reason. I'll go to their, I'll check out who they are. If they're a streamer, I usually just follow them back. Like
Yeah.
it's whatever. Um, but you can't follow everybody.
Right.
That's just a thing. Like for me, my Twitch is gonna just look crazy. I don't want to have like a long list. Oh, so and so's live. Like so, I go to their profile. If I even semi like what they're doing, I'll follow them. But there have been some people I'm just like, no, I will
Yeah.
not be interested in this at all.
Yep.
Or what you're doing actually repulses me, so I'm not going to
Yep.
follow you. Like it's just, and that's just what it is. And if they unfollow because I didn't follow them back, whatever. Like
Yeah.
I don't care about that. But one thing I will say, as far as like finding people or like discovering people, um, I've found that having a camera and I know you always have the camera as far as like with Twitch and like the streaming and stuff like that. It definitely helps, and I realize it helps me as well. Like even when I was playing a game called Forspoken, right? Game that wasn't really like popular, but it had a very niche group of like people that really loved the game. So when they were like going through and like looking for people who were playing Forspoken, they saw me and they saw like I already had my friends on there, so I had a few viewers. You know, I had my camera on there, so they were able to find me and like talk with me and like, oh, CJ's kind of cool, you know, and then they like would follow. So I think the camera it helps kind of catalyze that connection because you like I'm already putting myself out there, right? You're putting
Right.
yourself out there with your camera. Some people don't like it's a thing for them. Some people don't like doing that, and I understand that, but you do suffer a bit because you're not going to have in general, you're not going to have as many viewers without a camera. And
Yeah.
I hate that, but that is just what it is.
I think
Um,
unless you're like a pro player where people are really
yeah,
interested in your gameplay, where they're
yeah,
like, I don't know. Yeah, it
exactly.
was it was I didn't have the camera in the beginning and it took me a while to get that set up. My son actually got me the camera that I have.
Mhm.
And
Looks good.
but it as a middle-aged woman, I am at like the greatest disadvantage for like getting hooking people because it's like a statistical thing like on all social media that if you're like a middle-aged woman you're just significantly less likely to get views even to have the algorithm
Wow.
push you. It's like because women in general are expected to be attractive in specific ways and that's what the algorithm pushes the most above anybody, right? So I already don't fit into that. I'm not pushing my boobs out there. I'm not
Are
wearing
you
makeup or
are you
anything.
middle aged? Oh,
Yeah, I'm turning 50 in December. So you should
ain't
just
no
you
mother. There's
yeah,
no
no,
way.
you should just see my the selfie mode on my camera from down here, right? Then you see it. Like
Listen, listen. And you can cut it, but I'm just like I did not
I'm leaving it.
I was leave it, just leave it all in. I was not expecting I was like, okay, middle age, maybe 30, not 38. My girl, you don't look too far. I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
might
do.
be 30.
I got a haircut like 2 months ago, and the lady cutting my hair, I mentioned my son was 28, and she
Right.
she just stops and she starts jumping around the chair, going, "You are lying! You
Yeah.
are lying!"
Yeah. I know you get that a lot. You have to come on.
And my son is very like when we go places, he'll be like, "She's my mom," like right away because we've
Yeah.
had people be like, "Oh, your wife or whatever," and he's like, and because he's got a
Yeah.
beard and stuff as well, so he looks
Oh,
older. And then
yeah. That is crazy. Yeah. I would have never guessed.
I'm at that age where my skin is starting to change really rapidly, and so it's going to be like any day now. I'm going to wake up and people are going to be like, "Okay, you look like you're in your 40s," like you know. But
No, whatever
it's
you're doing, keep doing it. You'll
I
be
don't go
good.
outside. I drink water. I don't drink alcohol. I think that's all that stuff. Plus just genetics.
That's
I don't
really
know.
what it. Yeah, I'm sure that's what
Yeah.
it is. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a surprising to me. But yeah, keep doing what you do. Um, but well, I will say, you say middle age, like you put in a camera and like people just discovering you, like when they're scrolling, they're not going to automatically think that. And yes, obviously, there's this whole thing with like women who pushing out their boobs to get views and stuff like that, which I'm glad you don't do. But it's,
I'm not built for that anyway.
uh, I couldn't do it anyway.
Yeah.
No,
I'd have to put the camera in there.
but, but, but honestly, you kind of weed out the weirdos anyway, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um, but you, like I said, you don't look middle aged. Uh, you're approachable, and that's the thing. And you're, because I've been to some streams where it's like, okay, I understand sometimes you have to focus on gameplay, but like if you're not looking at chat, I be timing it sometimes 3 to 5 minutes, like it'd be passing,
Right.
like
I did that the other
you come
day.
on,
Yeah, my phone died and I forgot there's a lot, you have to log into all the apps. So I hadn't logged
yeah,
into the Twitch app. I just kind of forgot because this phone's just like my old phone. And then I was like, oh, sure, I haven't even logged into Twitch. So I did that and I saw my friend because we used to game together and he was on my streams a lot. And I was getting stressed out because it was feeling like an expectation. And
mm,
he was not giving me space to talk. And it was, like he was just talking over me all the time and I was just getting like that doesn't, I
oh
interrupt a
yeah,
lot, but I always come back to people. There's always space for other people and there wasn't, and it was mansplaining. I was just stressed. So I was like, I need a break from gaming with other people for a while.
absolutely,
And so I think he missed the attention and so he started streaming. So I tried to jump into his stream and I said hello. There was nobody else there. And about 5 minutes passed, he didn't look once, and I went, well, you're doing a good job, and I left. Like, know.
exactly. He probably was not used to, and I've had that happen before too. Like people that are, because I know how it is streaming, and there'll be like days you'll be streaming and nobody will come into your chat for the time that you're streaming. So you just get to a point where you might stop looking at it. Well, here's
Yeah.
the thing, you still want to have chat up. Like I get, not wanting to like disappoint yourself or whatever, but like you still want to have chat up because that one person that comes into your stream could change everything,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. And he had just logged in, so at first he was setting up, so I figured I'd give him a couple minutes, and then
Yeah.
when the gameplay started, he still didn't check, and I was just like, oh, I'm putting
Yeah.
out,
No.
you know. And but he complains sometimes on X about not getting the support or whatever. And so I kind of was like, well, I'm trying to, and it didn't, I was like, okay, well.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm trying to support you. Like I need you to be able to receive that support because I would have done the
Yeah.
same thing. Like I would have
I don't,
left.
it's very interesting to me, like how differently other people are wired for stuff. Like some people go into things because they want the attention and then they feel like they're let down by other people when the people don't sort of fall in line with what they're doing, right? So like, hey, I just started
Mhm.
streaming. You guys should all come and watch me stream kind of thing. But then it's like
Yeah.
watching people stream it's a very particular thing. Not everybody enjoys it. Like I podcast and people will be like, you know what? I don't enjoy listening to podcasts. I'm sorry. And I'm like, you don't need to apologize. I hardly listen to them either. It's not like, I like making them.
It's just it's just one of those things. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel that too. Like you're more of a creator than you are a watcher or like a follower,
Yeah, exactly.
honestly.
I'm not much of a consumer and
And I
but
get that.
I respect like it when I have friends that do stuff, I will, some people who are actually like friends or have put like time into engaging with me, I will try to support them as much as I can within my energy limits because I'm not going to cut into my ability to do things. I did that when I first started doing content on TikTok and stuff, I was doing support for support, which was generating a lot of engagement because the other people did support for support. So it's like anybody that comments, you go to their page and you comment on one of their things, and then you end up with this community of people doing this. But what happened is I was watching videos that I don't even understand why they exist. Like selfies with a bunch of filters and a music put in the background. And I'm like, why is an adult so fascinated with a picture of themselves the way that a 2-year-old is? I don't understand. And it's if they want to do that, it makes them happy, it's cool, but like that's like 30 seconds of my life that adds up to like 5 or 10 minutes every day that I could be doing something else.
Yeah.
And it makes me tired. I actually get tired because it's not interesting and
Yeah.
not enjoyable, right? I'm not getting anything from
Absolutely.
it. So it starts to feel like work. And after a couple of years of doing that, I was just like, I don't, I think when I come out of this hiatus, I'm going to be a little more selfish about it. And
Absolutely.
I'm going to support where I get joy from supporting instead of doing it because it feels like it's part of the job.
Yeah. So you are affiliate now, right? Or,
Mhm.
okay. So well, and that's the thing. And after that, the stress comes off because you don't have to worry about like your view count, like all that stuff, unless you're trying to go for partner. But none of us are trying to go for partner because that's crazy.
Yeah.
But you don't have to worry about that, and that's what I do. And a lot of people are kind of salty about that, but it's like I I'm gonna go and support you if you are you know, if you're somebody that, like you said, I get joy from, if you're somebody that's entertaining. I have a friend who I'm not gonna name him, but he streams Apex without a camera. I can't watch you, my dude. I cannot. I will rather, my God,
You're there
go
for the person,
outside
not the game.
and roll around on the ground, which
Yeah.
anybody knows me, I hate outside. And I hate the grass. So, but I'm telling you, I would rather go out there and roll around in the grass for 15 seconds and watch an Apex stream, no camera, no comment, zero. Like, if I just wanted a gameplay of what is it called, a battle royale, which I hate battle royales. I only play Fortnite because my other friends.
High
That's something I
five.
can. Yeah, yeah. That's it. Like my other friends play. I'm like, okay, I might as well play this one. It's a way I can connect with my other friends. That's it.
Yeah. The only the I watched the clips from Gamer Grandma or whatever. Have you seen her? She's like 60 or so and she plays like Apex or Fortnite or whatever
Okay.
and she's very like talkative and so like she'll play with people and then she shares these clips of people like talking shit to her and then they realize she's actually a grandma and like there's just a lot of fun and she'll like go through and have these
Oh,
days where she's just headshotting everybody and that's
wow.
the only context are these like 15 to 30-second clips that come on my Facebook of her gaming. I'm like, she's inspirational. I'll watch this, but I absolutely could not. I tried playing Apex and it was fun for like 3 rounds, and then I was just like,
Oh,
eh.
for that long? I kept getting killed the minute I stepped into it. I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm deleting. It took me 2 hours or 3 hours to actually download the game,
Right?
and then I deleted it like 3 hours later. I was like, nah, I can't do this anymore, y'all. I'm
Yeah, it was
sorry.
the same for Fortnite. I tried and I just was like, plus playing with strangers stresses me the fuck out.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like it's weird because I can leave the house, I can go to a party, I can go to like a social function. No social anxiety. I don't care. I'm just like blah 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 blah. Or I hide in the corner and watch people, whatever mood I'm in. But
yeah.
online, when I have to game with other people, I get stressed out. I have to be pretty comfortable with somebody to play with them. It's
I 110% agree. 110%.
Yeah. And I think it's because you have to communicate and you have to do stuff with
You have to
them.
like, yeah, yeah. It's already a lot like streaming and I'm guessing you didn't know this either, but there was quite a few times where I used to stream karaoke. And I did it recently, maybe a few months ago, but
I've seen the notifications, but I do not personally enjoy karaoke, so I never click.
that's fine. And that's totally fine. But I don't enjoy hosting them because you have to you invite all these people into your server like or Discord voice call, and then you have to like watch them or hear them like sing terribly. And uh and it usually it's these songs that you don't even like anyway. And
Right?
then like, but it, there are a couple of people that are like, oh man, they're like really good. But most of the people, they just want to get like attention, right?
Right.
They want that attention, and it's always the people with the least amount of talent that want the
Yeah.
most amount of attention.
And and
It never fails.
yeah, and situationally, you can have fun with those people. Like, say you're all at a karaoke thing and everybody's just kind of high on the energy or drinking or whatever it is that makes
Yeah.
them have fun. Then the bad singing can be fun for them,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
not for me, but for them. And I can see that. But in a situation like what you're talking about, it's too
I used to,
focused. They're not in a party
sing.
room.
Yeah.
Like,
And I used to be like, oh, this person's like, oh, come on, everybody's welcome. Have 10 people in there. Well, it takes quite a few, quite a bit of time to get through 10 people in multiple rounds. There'll be times I'll stream karaoke for 6 hours straight, and we get done at
yeah.
like, or like even longer than that, and I'll get done at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, and they're over here. I'm like, I'm done, and people can visibly see I'm done, right? And
Yeah.
they're over here talking about God knows what. I'm like, y'all, let's just finish the last round, y'all. I'm ready to go to bed, and that's why I don't stream karaoke anymore because it's like
It's too
honestly
much without
it's
without enough
mostly
joy.
bullshit. There's a lot of toxicity in the karaoke community. A lot of people like talking bad about the other person and like all this. It's just I don't
Drama.
even really do it. There are a couple of people I will join the karaoke because I don't have to host and I'll just sing a couple rounds. But yeah, it's very toxic.
Yeah. And that it sounds like a lot of work just to coordinate it and stuff.
It is.
So I have very good like hearing in terms of if something's out of tune or whatever, my brain is just like that's out of tune. And
Mhm.
it's music is like this sensory experience for me where I feel it in my cells like when I'm listening to music. So being around music that I don't enjoy, being around like out of tune stuff, it's physically painful. So like I'll tell people I don't enjoy
Oh
karaoke,
yeah,
I don't enjoy the bad singing, and then they accuse me of being judgy, and I'm like, no, I'm not being judgy. You guys can have fun, and I'm happy for you having fun. It's physically
it's just
painful for
physically.
me.
Yeah,
It's a sensory experience. It's literally like it's like nails on a chalkboard where your skin hurts kind of thing. Like if you don't
yeah,
have sensory stuff, it's hard to imagine, but it's my nervous system. I can't control that. It's,
yeah. Of course, of
yeah, I mean,
course.
when I was in band, like I played flute and then I was a percussionist for like years. And if somebody was like a little bit out of tune, like sometimes when you like warm up your instrument, you have to like tweak it a bit to get it back in tune. And I would just be like, so you're flat, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I bet they hated that.
Oh, I don't. My teacher started relying on it instead of doing the tuning. He just had me point it out. But
Oh, yeah, I love
yeah,
that. Mm.
but yeah, when I was with my son's progenitor, they were a drummer, and the bass player, their bass would not stay in tune. And for some reason, the bass player didn't really notice it, and it would get really muddy sounding as it went flat. So when they did shows, I we had an agreement that I would give like a hand signal that he needed to tune between the next two songs. You know, so
Yeah,
I
I love that.
I just be like,
We could have used you on some karaoke. We really could have, but I'm sure they would have been able to fix the issue.
Yeah,
It's
but I think that's part of the reason why like singing makes me nervous too, is that because I can hear that it's off or
how it's supposed to
whatever.
sound.
Yeah, and also like I know like I with the reverberation in my head, I can't necessarily hear myself as clearly, but it's like I almost don't want to know like how bad it is.
Yeah, I feel
But
that.
I'm also very curious about like my vocal range. So I would take the classes just to get that information because I'm a little on the deep side. So like I would want to know what can I actually do with this because I think a lot of the music that I like to sing to is in a range that's hard for me. So I usually have to sort of harmonize with them instead of trying to match them because
Mm.
they're too high or whatever. Um, Except for Tenacious D, I'm good with them. But and nobody sounds good singing Violent Femmes because he doesn't sound good.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it. I was looking at the time. I do need to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I get a couple more minutes from you so we can do the question and answer thing and then we'll wrap it
Absolutely.
up?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Let's do it.
All
And
right.
again, for the patrons.
Yeah, so I have this book. It's 3001 Would You Rather, and the way we do it is you give me numbers, and I just realized the one thing I forgot to grab was a pen
Okay.
so that I could write down the numbers because I'm a genius. Hmm.
I wish I could give you mine because I have one
Well,
here.
do you have a pen on that side? Because then you could just write it. You could write down the three numbers, or you could just give me one at a time. Okay, we'll just do it one at a time, so I don't have to remember. Okay, so
Absolutely.
three numbers between 3001, or between 1 and 3001. So you just give me one.
Okay.
Just give me a number, and then I read the question, and then you just answer it. However,
I love
whatever.
that. 274.
274.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Yeah, I didn't need to know that. That's crazy.
No, right?
I could have gone my whole life.
I wish I didn't know.
Exactly. Yeah, that is they hit it the nail on the hammer with that one. You know what I'm trying to say. That is crazy. Wow.
You said nail on the hammer. I
nail
just
on the
processed
hammer.
what you said.
That's going to be my new saying now. Nail on the hammer.
I'll make some stickers.
Love it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm gonna try my hardest for the rest of the night to forget about that. This was so amazing. I'm so glad we finally did this. I know we've been talking about it for a couple months. So I'm so glad we got a chance to do this.
Yeah, I'm glad that it worked out, and I'm glad that especially because I kept like kind of procrastinating it, so it helps motivate me that we were like, okay, let's set a time, because the imposter syndrome goes, you don't really need to do that anyways. It wasn't that good, and it's like, come on. So
that imposter.
yeah.
Yes.
So I yes, thank you, and absolutely had a really good time, and I look forward to seeing you on the streams, and when I'm streaming, you're streaming, when you're around. And I hope your future performances are just super enjoyable and fruitful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It was great seeing you and talking with you.
You too, and have a good rest of your evening. And
yeah, you too. You too. We'll talk though. We're gonna talk, and then because I definitely want to nail down a date on like when you plan on streaming next. So I want to be there.
Yeah, you just push me, and that'll force me to do it because I'm very like.
I got you.
Yeah, I want to make you happy. So.
Oh, let's do it.
I have that. I'm very defiant. If you tell me what to do, but if you're requesting, my brain goes, I really want to do that. Like, so that's how you trick me into doing shit. Just by the way.
I know what to do now, y'all. We got it. We're going to get lead a stream. Okay. I'm going to message you very soon.
Okay.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you again. Right.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for hanging out and listening. A huge thank you to my patrons. I could not do this without you. Want to support my creative chaos and get access to exclusive content? Check out my Patreon. Have questions and/or interested in joining me for a conversation? Email me.